There is little cultural overlap between violent extremists abroad and violent extremists at home. But in their disdain for pluralism, in their disregard for human life, in their determination to...
Speaking of 9/11, speaking of George Bush, did you see that he says that we are all the terrorists now? He says we're domestic terrorists. I don't remember exactly what the phrasing was, but he gave a speech at the memorial. Biden didn't, because you can't get him to open his mouth and operate. But Bush, he goes out there and he's just like, yeah, we fought against Al-Qaeda, but Al-Qaeda, well, they're just like the domestic extremists, the right-wingers, the violent. I think he said that we're children of the same foul spirit, was his line. So I guess we're in the axis of evil. We're evildoers because we don't want stolen elections or medical tyranny. I don't know. Maybe we don't want 20-year-long fucking disaster wars that we lose and that thousands of people have to die in. You remember that hack line that late night comedians used to say, like back in the 90s, like before Barack Obama before they even made him a fake passport. They used to be like, oh man, yeah, we already have the first black president. That's Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, because he, I guess because he played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall, and maybe because he didn't keep up with his child support. They're like, yep, that's a black guy. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks. Not insulting at all. The fucking Bill Clinton. I love it. But yeah, I mean, if Barack Obama doesn't get credit for being the first black president because of Bill Clinton, well, Joe Biden, as unbelievable as this might sound, Joe Biden is not America's first mentally retarded president, because that honor, of course, goes to George W. Bush. I mean, he can talk all the shit he wants, but I mean, let's just go back a little bit. So I actually voted against that asshole. I did vote for George Bush. My first vote, I guess I'm dating myself a little bit, but my first vote was for president was for the Libertarian candidate in 2004. I think his name was Badnarik. I don't remember anything about him, but he was flying the Libertarian banner before it got completely ruined. But yeah, I think he got like 0.25% of the vote. But he didn't do 9/11. He didn't start any forever wars. He didn't open the border wide open. As far as I know, I mean, for all I know, he's dead. I don't know. But as far as I know, Michael Bednarik is not spending his spare time in retirement, painting portraits in his attic like a fucking mental patient. He's not cuddling up to Big Mike Obama in photo shoots. Have you seen fucking W? Every goddamn picture, he's over there with Michelle Obama, just like she's cuddling him like a baby. I think I made the right choice there. Anyway, speaking of photo shoots, speaking of retarded presidents, did you see Biden once again became a meme over the weekend? Of course, he can't go a single day without being a fucking donkey brain. Let's see if I can find it here. So, at the aforementioned 9/11 memorial, of course, commemorating 20 years since that day, all of the evil people who profited from it and who probably perpetrated it were gathered there at Ground Zero, or I think they were at Ground Zero. So, of course, Clinton was there, Obama was there, Big Mike was there, Hillary, of course. I can't remember who was all there, but just a bunch of globalist criminals and, Nancy Pelosi and all those other fucking scumbags. Now, the best thing is they were all wearing their big, stupid, the big black COVID masks because they're all so scared of this virus that they know is bullshit. Of course, they were photographed seconds before they realized they were being photographed, and not a single one of them was wearing the masks. They were all close in, tight, doing their thing. But that's kind of besides the point here. So Biden couldn't even keep himself composed during a fucking 9/11 memorial event. Now, they didn't let him speak at it because God only knows what he would say. But he thought that people wanted to hear what he had to say anyway. So there he is. You see everybody in their masks, and Biden yanks down his mask and starts yelling at people. I really want to know what he said. Of course, I put this on on one of our social medias. I think I put this on MeWe, and I'm like, caption this. Like, is he telling everybody that his butt's been wiped? Is he complaining about the ice cream selection? Maybe he's asking what time it is because he's not allowed to wear his wristwatch out in public anymore when he's at these type of events. But my favorite is you look at Obama looking at him, just side eye, like this fucking idiot. Like, oh, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with this fucking dumbass anymore. Of course, Obama's famous statement about Biden was, what was it? Never underestimate Joe's ability to fuck things up. Like, talk about underestimating. I think you underestimated it, Obama. I mean, he's doing a little more than fucking things up. And then, of course, if you look to his left is his ever-present handler or nurse or victim. I don't know, his wife. I think he's a victim. Either way, Jill, she can't even stand to look at the guy. She's looking at Mike Bloomberg. Like, you can just read her expression. Look at her eyes. She's just like, oh, God, he's doing it again. I hope he's not hitting on some 5-year-old in the audience. I'm sure he is. No, Jill, you'll never be able to give Joe what he needs, which is that 6-year-old poondang. Here's my favorite meme out of it. Speaking of. Did she say she was 9 or 11? That's what Joe was screaming. I feel like we could do the old, like, Letterman, like, top 10. Like, the top 10 things Joe Biden was screaming incoherently underneath his COVID mask at the 9/11 memorial event. Anyway, another funny Biden clip. Speaking of Joe.
So, Principal
For some
Richardson,
reason, Jill was giving a
thank you for
speech somewhere over the
welcoming
weekend. I don't know
us here
who would want to go
today.
see her speak.
And Secretary
Nobody even wants to see her
Cardona
husband speak, but
and,
watch Joe.
Mayor Bowser and
He doesn't know where the
Chancellor
fuck he is.
You know,
He's
thank you for
confused.
joining us as
And then
well.
he wanders off.
And for families across the country, the school year.
And she's so used to it, she keeps
brings
going.
this
The best part is he wanders off, the
for
camera
all of
tries
us.
to, like, get
all
in
at
tight
once, we feel
to
the
be like, yeah, we know the
anticipation
president of the
new
United States was
classmates
just
and
there and wandered.
teachers.
And then somebody tells him, hey, you gotta go back over there. Your
Your
wife is making a speech. She's a doctor.
Hey, it's me, Mac Cashman. You know me. I'm the guy that brought you the first all-you-can-eat feeding trough for people. And I'm also the creator of Mac's Impossible Chili, the only vegan food out there with 100% real meat. And, I also did that thing, where I was pretending to give all the money to the Marines. And I'm sorry for that one. I'm sorry, I really am. But it's okay. It's okay now, because I've got a great new product for you guys. I tell you what, it's called Mac Cashman's Fast-Acting Emergency Rations. That's right, folks. It's storable food. That means you can keep it in your closet, you can keep it in your basement, you can keep it in your bomb shelter or whatever, like for 20 years if you want to. I mean, you don't even have to cook it. It never goes bad. And that's because it isn't really any good to begin with. but you know what? It's 100% edible for humans. I mean, it's not called Max Grand Deluxe, super steak and lobster rations. It's for an emergency. What do you care? You're gonna be eating this stuff, in the middle of a nuclear apocalypse or whatever. Just be happy you don't have to eat your dog. But if you do have to eat your dog, it's got great side dishes that go great with all sorts of breeds. And like I said, it is FDA approved, 100% edible food. Not your dog, but Max, fast action emergency rations. And I mean, a lot of people ask me, they're like, Mac, would you eat this stuff? And I say, look, I could eat it. And if you don't believe that, then my name isn't Mac Cashman. But it is. So go to 100%edibleforhumans.com today and buy a few months worth of this slop. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You never